It's Bill, and I'm here with Conversations in Functional Health. And today, my guest is Darlene Woldridge. She is the founder and the owner of Back to Health Physical Therapy, and she is really out in the forefront of trying to bring us all together in better ways to reach our health goals. So welcome, Darlene. Thank you for
Hey,
taking a couple minutes to talk with us.
thank
My,
you.
you're welcome. My intention for these conversations is to really bring people information and help them get outside of the box. I think that our
hmm
insurance-based model of physical therapy and healthcare in general puts you in a very, very narrow box.
Right.
So I'm reaching out to people I think that have already stepped outside of the box or at least on their way out of the box to see
hmm
how they're doing it and so we can bring more information. So it really is
Right.
so, um, so my first question to you is, um, you know, you started a business, what was it, 18, 20 years ago?
19 years ago.
19 years ago,
Yeah.
there was a
Yeah.
small little place called Back to Health. And I
hmm
think we were in a much different world then. And I'm wondering what your vision was for Back to Health at the time, and how does it differ from where you see Back to Health now or where it is going?
hmm Well, when I first started the business, it was, I had been working in hospitals and I saw how hospitals were going, and you were seeing 4 or 5 patients an hour. And I was an administrator, or the head of the department, and the administration was on my back all the time about making money. And I really wanted to deliver good quality health care and help my patients and remember their names. Half the
Yeah,
times you couldn't even remember who was coming in. So I thought, if I ever have my own practice, I want to do it the way I want to do it. And I want these patients to benefit from our knowledge and actually get better. So when the time came, I was very grateful to open a business. I had no idea what I'm doing. I probably at this point still don't know a lot of things of what I'm doing, but I am a person that sort of like, flies by the seat of my pants in some ways, and which is okay because I like to pick it up as I go along, and it allows me to be a little more flexible to change. Um, so I wanted to deliver quality physical therapy care and become a community-based resource for people. And you came along and helped me enter into the world of a little more holistic care, of looking at, I've always looked at the body as a whole, but you had a really nice way of putting that all together, which has complemented Back to Health tremendously. And it's brought me into that other world where, traditional physical therapy just doesn't answer everyone's questions.
and
Yeah.
my personal belief is that there are no coincidences, and we found each other in order to serve more people in a better way. So, how do
hmm
you see Back to Health doing that now, as compared to when you were just a small operation? If you have many people following, you have things like that. Do you have a vision of where you want it to go at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. I really do, because I like change. I want it to change. I think the hardest part when you have a practice and you have other people involved, not everybody is willing to change. A lot of people just like to do the day-to-day protocol sort of stuff without looking outside or not looking where the industry is going. And personally, for me, I look at where my life is going. You know, I started the business when I was, what, 43, 44, which
Right.
was not young by any means. So I've gone through a lot of changes in my own personal life and have seen what I used to see in patients. And I didn't plan on saying this, but I remember when I first opened up and there was these two women, both of which probably aren't even with us anymore. And this one older lady would say whatever she wanted and was very honest. And she was like, at she would say things and I would say, "Oh my gosh, at what point in life do you get to be like that and just say what you want?" I am here, and it's sort of a nice place to be, but I understand it now. I understand the fact that just because somebody says something, that's not really what it is in her life, and it's not what it really is in my life. So I've progressed to a point where my goals are to stay as healthy as I can for as long as I can to live the lifestyle that I want to live. So I would like all of our patients, once they get past, their rehab potential, and I'd like other people to live a healthier life, to be, whether it's health coached or, find a goal, that's something that you want to do, work towards it, and be more proactive. I'm a little tired of people neglecting themselves and then coming in when it's almost too late. I think our medical system promotes that. And I think if you want to be a healthier person and live a better life, you need to be way more proactive with what you do on a daily basis. It's entirely up to you.
Awesome, awesome. And what is it that you're feeling that sets Back to Health apart from other clinics? I mean, I know how I feel. I come from the trenches where, it was more of a treadmill system, get them in, get them in, get them in. But where we work, there's much more time with people, and that's a double-edged sword when you're running a business. But what ways do you see Back to Health, stepping aside and being different than other PT clinics in Europe?
So it is a double-edged sword. I do love the fact that we've gotten to know so many people. They come, they're recurrent. There's some people that never leave. But in a way, I think that's nice. I think it's really nice if people are taking responsibility and we're helping them move along in their lives. I just think that physical therapy is more than just, I hurt my shoulder, I want some rehab exercises and move along. I feel like we are able to take the time with the patients, teach them more, educate them in what they, not only to rehab the body part that they come in for, but to look at their whole body and their whole life as, something they want to do. I want my shoulder to feel good because I want to be able to pick up my grandkids. So when I stop doing my shoulder exercises, I can't pick up my grandkids without pain. They need to know that. They need to know that, this is not, you come in for 6 weeks and you're better and you don't have to come back. You come in for 6 weeks to get to the top of your game. Now you need to do this, this, and this to continue on with that and to take a lifestyle. I feel like Back to Health should be a lifestyle as opposed to just a periodic, come and do this. Yeah, like, look at, we literally at 8 o'clock in the morning, we're talking about food and nutrition, and we're talking about, and we get hungry, but your body is not just one thing. I feel like Back to Health should support you, physically, emotionally, spiritually, nutritionally, all those things combined. And I think the amount of time we as physical therapists have with patients is tremendous. Doctors don't get that time. Doctors don't tell their patients, they get what, maybe 5 minutes. We get to know what they do, where they go, who they like. We watch them get in and out of cars. We know what they eat. We share recipes with them. So I feel like we have a lot more freedom and a lot more influence in their life. It's just a matter of us as therapists and as individuals helping them along. And it's not just an exercise thing, although I think exercise is super important and it is the key to longevity. Right. But I think it's everything. And our job is to educate them. And that's where I see Back to Health going. Awesome. I see it going as far away from insurance as possible and still being, viable as a business. Yeah.
Awesome. And so Darlene has written a book. It's called Is Your Back Pain Fake News? This is a really good book. It's not a lot of verbose ideas. It's very simple and to the point. I know that you kind of specialized and have been an educator on SI or sacroiliac joint pain. Besides this book, what message are you trying to get to the greater audience? What message is being missed out there in our healthcare environment? We're going to put a link to this book. It's a great read. We'll put a link in the description at the end. But
Thank you.
Do you have a greater message, one that's kind of all-encompassing? This is very specific and it's great.
Well, I really feel like, and this is something I got from you, the little things that we do each day are the big things that add up in our life. It's a statement that you've made all the time and I've adopted. You die a death of 1,000 paper cuts. It's not the one thing that you do, although it's the one thing that precipitates the pain, but it's the little things that we do every day, the way we get in and out of a car, the way we move, the way we sit, the way we stand, the way it all adds up over a period of time. And that's the greater message of that's what our health is all about. So if you want to be healthy, you don't just go to the gym for 6 weeks. You have to instill in your lifestyle, good posture, you exercise, movement, the way we sit, the way that we talk, the way we breathe, how we eat. All of those things come together, which sounds like such an enormous task, but it's not. It really isn't. It's the little things that tear us down, but it's also the little things that build us up. So little things by little things, you take one little thing at a time, and it just grows on each other.
And you set me up perfectly for my next question, because my model of thinking of where I want to go is preventive medicine. And that's a boring subject to try and get people to, avoid problems as opposed to come in and fix problems. But all those little things that you talked about, deciding to exercise, eating correctly, sleeping well, breathing well, those all require motivations and commitment. And my question to you is, because you do a lot of things, you climb mountains, you hike, you're a grandmother, you're a wife, you're a business owner, what are the little things that you do to stay motivated on those mornings where you just wake up and do this?
Well, I don't think motivation creates habits. I believe habits create motivation.
Okay.
I think that if you start habits, sorry about the phone, if you start habits and you stick with your habits, little things like, so for example, I get up almost every morning. I take a walk, I go down to the beach, I watch the sunrise. During that time, I'm getting my exercise of walking. I'll do a little bit of running in, I do some meditation, I do some prayer. I have my gratitude. I come home, I have a gratitude journal that I put together that I fill out, and those things are what makes me motivated. And I'm sorry, it's not really those things that make me motivated. It's what I get out of that in the long run that makes me motivated. So I might not feel like getting up in the morning, and then I take a million sunrise pictures. It's the mornings I don't feel like getting up that I go down. I'm like, that is the most gorgeous sunrise I've seen in a long time. So what I get out of it, the exercise, the sunrise, the feeling I get to start my day is what keeps me motivated. And sharing that with other people only encourages me to do it more. If I just kept it to myself, I'd be happy, but my motivation is that other people like, hey, I'll meet you down the beach, or I saw you, or I've appreciated what you've shared. So I really think that my motivation comes from, number one, I like to exercise because I like the results of the exercise, but it's sharing it with others. And when I share it with others, I have such a feeling of gratitude, and I know that I'm helping them as well. Like I am making their life just a better life, a healthier life.
To bring value to people. And I know from my personal experience, those mornings I didn't want to get up and ride my bike or do whatever. Once I got home, I always said to myself, you know what, I'm so glad I did that. So
yeah.
Those mornings I'm like, okay, I'm going to be glad, but it's going to be an hour from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great motivation. Awesome. I have one last question for you. And, I try to break things down into small pieces people can, digest, little aha moments. And one of the phrases I like to use is a journey of 1,000 miles starts with just one step. What's your idea of first steps for the journey to health and wellness? I mean, how big is manageable today for somebody to, perhaps somebody that can't walk a block, or, it's tough to put their socks in their shoes? What are some of the first steps you think?
Well, that statement really rings true to my heart, because when we pulled the bus up to Mount Kilimanjaro and I saw that big mountain, I thought, how in the world am I going to be able to get all the way up there? And it really does just start with one step. And sometimes that step is not, you feel like it's not a reality and it's hard. But if you just put it out there and you just do it, first of all, you've got to think about it. You have to want it. And the most frustrating thing for me is to talk to people that say they want something, but they don't really want it. So you have to really want to do something and then just put it in action. Whether it doesn't have to be a habit yet, you just start it and keep doing it. If I want to get up in the morning, the night before, I will set my clothes out. I have everything ready. I have no excuses. So you set yourself up so you have no excuses. If it's that you want to, get stronger, you can come to our place. People that want to get their back better, go on the MedX machines. You make sure that you make an appointment. We always say that you can just show up, but I tell the people that really want to get better, make an appointment so that you are responsible for you. And that's the biggest thing. Make yourself responsible for yourself. You are the only one that's going to live with yourself the rest of your life. You have to love them. You have to be happy with who they are and just do what you want to do. And there's no tomorrow. There really isn't there really is no tomorrow. You start today. If you want to do something, you start today. And that's the way I've always lived, because I've watched family members and other people not have another day. You know what? It's really important that you take today and make the most of every day. Whether it's, starting a diet, starting an exercise program, calling up a friend and saying you love them, all those things add to your own well-being.
Yeah, that is awesome. And I want to say thank you so much for, sharing some time with us and just giving some insights. I think people see businesses as entities that don't involve people, but I think Back to Health has a heart, and you are the lead of that heart, of course, because it was your creation. So if you have a couple of things that you'd like to know, let us know about anything coming up at Back to Health in the program, or things on your own personal journey. I know that you're getting ready to go to Alaska, but are there any climbs for the Women's Freedom Challenge? This is a charity that Darlene does that raises money.
There are a few climbs. There is one in Tahoe that I haven't decided whether I'm going to do. The Freedom Challenge is an amazing group of women that we raise funds to help fight human trafficking. And they always have climbs here and there. We just did the beach walk. So I will probably always be involved in that. Yes, I have a trip to Alaska ready. I am going to Hawaii for a friend's 60th birthday. I'll just be with my grandkids and enjoying life. Back to Health is always going to be there. It's always going to be there for anybody in the community that wants to be a part of it, that wants to, whether you want to play golf more or better without back pain, whether you want to do your yoga on Saturdays and stay, spiritually connected and limber. We used to have personal training. We can still set you up with personal training. There's lots of things. I'm so open to changing up the scenery of Back to Health with whatever anybody needs. So if anyone has any ideas, I'm always open to,
expression.
Something on.
Tell us what you need, and we'll see how we can fit it in there. Because I think we really are trying to be outside the box. I think our golf program is a really good one. I think that it's based in science, and the people that have taken it have really benefited from it. So hopefully we get more programs like that where we can reach out to the community in different ways that don't involve having to go through your doctor and getting a prescription, the 19 steps of insurance. So,
right.
Well, again, thank you so much for taking the time. Again, I'll put all these links for your book, for the Freedom Challenge, because those are good things to get people involved with as well. This can be a resource for that. Awesome.
Yeah.
And
hey, thanks, Bill. And thanks for being such a big part of Back to Health. You really have made it successful in what it is.
It's a wonderful place. I enjoy it, and looking forward to many more years helping to grow it. So thank you, Darlene. Have a great day. Namaste.
You too. Namaste.